Hello there, and thank you very much for opening up this video. I really do appreciate it. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Bond, James Bond. I'm a health and fitness expert based in the United Kingdom, and today I'm talking about racism in football, and particularly about the racist abuse that a lot of our footballers have faced on and off the field, particularly in reference to the England-Bulgaria game recently. Now, I'm not one of these snowflakes. I mean, one of my favourite jokes is, why must they not let India and Pakistan play in the World Cup? And I believe very strongly that India and Pakistan must not be allowed to play in the World Cup. And there is one reason for this. It's because every time they're going to get a corner, they're going to build a shop. Now, no matter how many times I hear that joke, I start laughing. And as you can see, I'm a second generation Indian. I am an ethnic minority. But there are four reasons why I would strongly counsel people who are thinking of hurling racist abuse at footballers not to do so. And let me give you those four reasons. The first thing is, you're going to inevitably bring your club into disrepute, and no one wants that. I'm a very passionate Liverpool supporter. The last thing I want to do is tarnish the club's good name. And there is a risk that you might do that if you actually hurl racist abuse or any form of abuse at a footballer. So please don't do it. The second reason is, you may get banned from your football club. It has been known that some people who have hurled racial abuse at footballers or other supporters or whatever have been banned from football grounds. So you don't want to do that. The third reason is that you may be committing a criminal offence, and you may end up with a fine, or worse still, a custodial sentence, which again we don't want. But if anything, if those three don't matter to you very much, consider the fourth reason, and I think this is probably the strongest reason of anything. You might just inspire the opposing footballers to raise their game. Let me give you two examples of this. When Stan Collymore first started playing for Liverpool, and his first game, it was in 1995 against Sheffield Wednesday, and he'd just been signed, I think, from Nottingham Forest for £8 million. And the Sheffield Wednesday supporters were hurling a load of abuse, saying, what a waste of money, what a waste of money. And during the second half, he popped and he scored and won the goal from, I think it must have been about 30 yards out. The keeper had absolutely no chance, and the Sheffield Wednesday supporters went very silent afterwards. Okay, it is the perfect way to silence the critics. The other one here is that I always remember this. It was the 1989 Merseyside derby, and we were Liverpool playing Everton at Goodison Park, and I was in the Park End. Gladys Street, I should say. We tried to get in the Park End, but we're in the Gladys Street. And in those days, they didn't segregate supporters at the Merseyside derbies. They do now. And we were surrounded by Evertonians, and there was this guy in front of us giving John Barnes a whole load of racial abuse. John Barnes, it was and is obviously of Afro-Caribbean background, a gifted footballer if there ever was one. Anyway, and this guy was actually throwing bananas at him. And even the Everton supporters didn't like that. So Everton scored first, and I think about on the half hour, John Barnes scored a header and equalised for Liverpool, and this guy was hurling a racist abuse at him. And at half time, I just tapped this guy on the shoulder, because I spoke to my mate Kenny. He said, do you want me to shut this guy up? He said, yes, if there's a fight, I'll back you up. I said, there won't be one. So I said to him, mate, you're giving Barnes a whole load of abuse. And he said, yeah, you bloody packy, what are you going to do about it? I said, I just want to ask you a question. He goes, go on. Why is it people like you go on countries to Spain, like Spain, to get a tan like mine that's going to last you 2 weeks and give you skin cancer, well, mine's free, permanent, and protects me from skin cancer? Now, the guy, people around him started laughing like mad, and he was actually quite humiliated. But here's the big thing. Barnes must have heard the amount of abuse that he was getting from this particular gentleman, because in the second half he played the game of his life, and he single-handedly took the Everton defence apart himself. Kevin Ratcliffe, the Everton central defender, didn't know what to do with him. Had it not been for the heroics of Neville Southall, the Everton goalkeeper, Liverpool would have won by a score of 10-1 would not have flattered Liverpool by any stretch of the imagination. Although, being a Liverpool supporter, I'm somewhat biased. So my take-home message to this is, there are four reasons why you should not hurl racist abuse at footballers. Number one, you might bring your club into disrepute. 2, you might get banned from the football ground. 3, you may actually be committing a criminal offence. But most importantly, if those 3 are not important to you, you may just get the other players to raise their game and basically do your you might be responsible for your team getting a real hiding. Hopefully that's of use to you, but please, please, please don't hurl racist abuse at footballers for the 4 reasons I've given. My name's Bond, James Bond. Leave you shaken but not stirred. Bye bye.